It was agreed that Goldman would pull back from its long position so that the firm wouldn't get caught if the mortgage market continued to seek up. The firm now expected in emails Sparks listed his follow-ups, which included reduce exposure, sell more ABX index outright, and distribute as much as possible on bonds created from new loans, securitizations, and clean previous positions. The next day, um, Vineyard Chairman and let's be very aggressive distributing thing because there will be very good opportunities as the markets segues into what is likely to be even greater distress. In the coming months, the Goldman team will do all of the above and more. Biggenbaum bought alt short position he called in the ABX. Goldman's demanded collateral from hedge fund clients that had bought mortgage banking securities on margin, earning in the enmity of many funds managers. It's also following Vineyard's detective to be aggressive about distributing things, and the firm was able to amass large amount of cheap single-team protections. Has Birnbaum later wrote in a self-review, because CDO's managers were in Daniels. Goldman's, however, wasn't, which is why it was so anxious to reduce its risks as quickly as possible. As another Goldman trade wrote February 12, the CDO is that we don't have a lot of time left among Goldman deals. Because it did business with New Century, Goldman was carrying New Century mortgage and securities on its balance sheet, but as CDOs it sold in late February 2007 served to reduce that exposure. This was CDO called Anderson Magazine funding, which consisted of 61 credit default swaps totaling $1 million on monthly BBB rated securities banked by mortgage produced by New Century and other supreme lenders. About 70% of the CDOs was rated AAA. Buyers were so reluctant to invest that Sparks at one point suggested liquidating the transactions to get the deal done. Goldman ended up with a chunk of the equity and the lower rated securities. On the deal itself, Goldman contends in lost money, something this firm says it did on many such deals. But the Senate Permanent Subcommittee says that Goldman kept a large chunk of the short position for itself, which created a hedge against its New Century exposure. The, the subcommittee will also allege that buyers weren't told that Goldman would profit in the securities taken. Some of the emails that were exchanged as Henderson was being market certainly suggest that was the case. One potential client asked, "How didn't you get comfortable with all the New Century collateral, in particular the New Century service deals, considering you are holding the equity and their servicing may to not be around?" And a Goldman Sachs person asked for additional ammunitions so that he could position the trade as an opportunity to get exposure to a good pool of assets and not as a risk reduction positions clean up trade, which is exactly what it was. At the time the deal was done, the underlying mortgage in some of the securitizations were already close to double-digit default rates. Buyers on the AAA Ratepayers clearly believed that their rating meant that their investment was sufficiently insulated from those losses. They were wrong. Within 7 months, the deal was downgraded to junk. In May 2006, Goldman helped underwrite $1 million of bonds backed by second lien mortgage made by Long Beach. It was a terrible idol. A drought, two-thirds of the tranches had been rated AAA. The loans in the securitizations were some of the world's subprime mortgage imaginable, and the default rate was very high, according to an analysis later done by a research firm called Amherst Holding. Only 32% of the loans had full documentation, and the weighted average loan to value was almost percent. As early as 2006, 2007, Goldman was demanding that Long Beach buy back default loans. Within 2 years, the AAA tranches had been downgraded to default status. Did Goldman have a responsibility to investigate the loans before saying them? Of course, as Goldman's General Counsel later wrote in letter to the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commissions. The federal securities laws effectively impose a gatekeeper role in the underwriter. Goldman claimed that it did due diligence on both the mortgage originator it did business with and the loans themselves.